is depicting Bill Clinton as the same thing, and the only difference between him and the pauper on the street is that Bill wears a suit, and he does it on a federal level. Thank you very much.
Well, he's creating poverty. These are temporary little jobs that he's going to supposedly give. The government is not efficient. The people are efficient. We are better able to spend our own money, or well, we've got a situation. Mr. Marx goes to Washington. Well, we've got Karl Marx in Washington today.
LaSalle, when you bring your message to the people of South Central Los Angeles, are they accepting this? Are they buying what you're saying? What's happening there?
Right now, Dwayne, everyone is in a state of unrest. I have brought my message to corporate America. I've brought it to South Central Los Angeles, where you're dealing with a real deep-seated psychological, emotional, social destruction which has transpired in the South Central Los Angeles area. It takes a little bit more to actually get through to the people. We have devised methods for accomplishing this. Although we need cooperation from government, I am exhausting all of my efforts to, as a matter of fact, I'm in touch with the Secretary of Education right now, but all of our efforts are directed towards getting their attention and at least, by some strange quirk of fate, at least getting them to hand down a little bit of concern. If not, then it is my premise, it is my thesis that we need to take matters in our own hands.
What does that mean, take matters into your own hands?
That means each individual becoming self-sufficient of itself. My platform is, the greatest natural resource of our nation is its people. Thus it follows inescapably that the primary national goal to be pursued at all levels, private, local, state, and federal, must be the development of each individual to its fullest potential. And that means individuals taking control of their lives and government allowing them to do so.
So you are not advocating violence or anything like that. You're just advocating people taking responsibility for their lives.
Yes, violence is insidious. Okay? Violence is ignorance. Ignorance of your natural capabilities and what you're able to do, what you're able to perform, what you're able to bring forth that has never been here before.
So the government is irresponsible, Dwayne. It is totally irresponsible. For every dollar that they take in, they spend $1.59. So they create this national debt to the international banksters and government gangsters who control the shots. They take away monies for things that we don't need, things that we don't want, things that we can't afford. They're talking about putting out monies for the sex life of the tsetse fly, for God's sakes. We are better capable of controlling our lives than the government. Bill Clinton says more government. More government is the answer. More taxes is the answer. This is insanity. We have to bring this insanity down to an end. We do not want to be controlled. We do not want to have blacks fearing whites, whites fearing blacks, Chicanos all mixed up in one pot fighting each other. We have to assume responsibility. The government is irresponsible, and what LaSalle is saying, we must have individual responsibility. That's the bottom line. That's where we're coming from. And we're working together, blood brothers, in this particular cause. The cause is for freedom. These people don't want a nation that's half slave, half free. This oligarchy of evil, this Illuminati that's controlling the shots and controlling the show, wants a nation that's all slaves.
One point to bring out once again here, and I need to make this point very, very sharp and pointed. Class has no color. If you consider yourself, or if you look in the mirror and say, hey, I'm a white man, I want you to know that you were conditioned and taught to be prejudiced, to be a racist against black men. If you are a black man and you look in the mirror and you see dark skin, I want you to know you were conditioned and you were taught to be a racist and prejudiced against white men. We are all men. We're all here and we all have a responsibility. And that means that's you that needs to take responsibility of your personal circumstances and get past the smoke screen or the blinders that government has brought about and put over our eyes. It is insidious. It is time for us to take action. We need to start now.
Well, I certainly can't argue with self-responsibility there. I asked you before the program what you classified yourself as politically, a conservative, libertarian, liberal. How would you describe yourself?
I am an egalitarian. I have democratic roots, and of course, I have Republican philosophies. I stand between surrendering myself to both sides. I believe that we all were created equal. We are endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights. That among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure the rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, as they have, it is the right of the people, that's us, to alter or to abolish it and institute new government. So I stand here for the people, absolutely for the people, and for no one else but the people. Race, color, or creed, black, white, green, brown, or red.
Well, see, we must control the government. If we do not control the government will control us.
So you're not advocating disbanding the government, you're just advocating controlling the government.
Controlling the government, and the government has to be reduced. The power of the government has to be reduced. The power of the people has to be increased. And they are contrary in interest. We have to have a rising of power amongst the people and a lessening of power amongst the government. If it's the other way around, we become slaves to the government. What Kennedy said when he said, ask what you can do for your country, not what your country can do for you, he was quoting Adolf Hitler. I have the antithesis of Hitler and Kennedy. I say, ask what your government can do for you, not what you can do for your government, because your government is your servant, and we, the people, are the master. We pay for the government. We should be telling the government what to do. The government should not be telling us what to do. This whole thing is upside down. We have to turn it all around.
Dr. Carroll Quigley, Bill Clinton's mentor, depicted the Illuminati plan for the future of an Orwellian America. The future under Clintonism, which is communism with a small c. Dr. Quigley describes his vision of the future under a Luciferian New World Order. The individual's freedom and choice will be controlled within very narrow alternatives by the fact that he will be numbered from birth and followed as a number through his educational training, his required military or other service, his tax contributions, his health and medical requirements, and his final retirement and death benefits.
And we are talking today about the globalization of our world, about the one world economy and the European community and various things that are linked with the Clinton administration. We know that the Clinton administration is very set on creating a climate of a one world economy and that sort of thing. So I want to throw out my first comment basically to Anthony. What are we seeing here with the European community?
Ein Volk, ein Reich, ein Führer. One Europe, like Adolf Hitler was talking about. One world, the 10-nation federation coming about. Biblically, it was talking about that. But we are talking about a drive towards the abolition of all nations. And upon the ashes of all nations, of all sovereignty, of all freedom, we will see the construction of a global government unless we, the people, not of just simply this country, but of all countries, fight and support the dignity of man, the divine dignity of man,